Hey, this is Awesome Arcades. So this is my cabinet, and in this video, I'm gonna show you how to do a diagnostic test if you have the 412 game board. So the first thing I want you to do is inside your cabinet, you're gonna have a board. I want you to locate the setup button. And at some point, you should have set the cabinet up. So hopefully this isn't new to you. But if it is, there's your button. I want you to click it just so you can hear that sound. Make sure that light switch or dip switch number 1 is down, 2 is up. And just for purposes of getting an idea of where it's at on the game board, it's right next to the monitor cable, and then that's where the trackballs plug in. So the first thing I want you to do is find where that little button is, okay? You're gonna turn the machine off. You're gonna turn the machine on while your finger is resting on that button. Now, I don't want you to turn it on while holding that button down. I just want you to have your finger ready to make it click like that, okay? When you turn it on, the words press test button to enter setup are gonna flash on the screen. While those words are on the screen, I want you to press that setup button. So I want you to make it click, and I'll show you that right now. Just so you know, in addition to the setup button on the side of the game board, all of my cabinets are hardwired with a setup button. So it's on the back side of the monitor. You can see it here. It's a little hard to see. Or if you want, just open up the coin door using the key on the front of the cabinet and poke your head in there and you'll see it. All right, so we're gonna turn the unit on. We are now gonna find that button. I'm gonna put my finger on the button, then I'm gonna show you the screen, and we're gonna watch for the words press test button to enter setup. They're gonna flash right near the top. All right, I pressed the button, it made a clicking sound. Now, if for some reason this setup screen does not come up, if for some reason the games load, like this menu where you select games, you've missed the button, you've missed the opportunity. You must press the button while the words are on the screen. If you miss it, just turn it off and start over and try again. Just remember the button makes a clicking sound, so you want to hear the clicking sound while the words press test button to enter setup are on the screen. Now, on the reverse of all the control panels on my cabinets, you're going to notice these 2 screws, okay? I have removed these because this control panel, which the screws anchor through there into that hole, this allows you to check the underside of the cabinet, okay? So if you call me and let's say there's a button issue or a joystick issue, this is the first thing I'm gonna have you do is a diagnostic so we can take a look and see where the issue is. Now, the diagnostic screen up here is called the I/O test. So using the joystick, I'm gonna push down and then it'll tell you up here, press the 1-player start button to enter. That's your 1-player start button. Now, using the joystick, here I'm pressing up, down, left, right. And sometimes what I'll like people to do is, this is how the movement is generated, by the way. So these little blue guys are called micro switches. Every direction has a color and a black wire, which is called a ground. And so you can see how the movement is created. 99% of the time, if somebody calls me and they say that it is not working in a single direction, one of these wires can unplug, almost always. Sometimes they vibrate, they wiggle off. These ones are on here pretty secure, but sometimes these can get loose. And so that's the first thing I check. If that's not the issue, sometimes these things will fail themselves. But this is a video that's gonna show you how to do a diagnostic. And if you're curious what the buttons look like, it's kind of the same thing. Colored wire, black wire that go to the micro switches. It's got a little clicker here, and then you see the 2 little dots. Basically the button locks in place like that, and then snaps in place like that. There's a thing on the bottom that you can screw off or on. That's how you take the buttons out if you're curious. And then when you push the button, it actually clicks the micro switch.